Our second week in Advent, I'm thinking about a text from this 42nd chapter of Isaiah. Isaiah is talking to the Hebrew people, and they've been through some tough times, but he says to them, "You are trapped in a pit of your own making." Now, he didn't say they had not been through trials and tragedies. In that same passage, he says, "You have been looted and plundered." Some of them had lived through the Babylonian exile. Life was not perfect, and yet he said they had become so focused on the bad that they could no longer see or would no longer see the good. It was a matter of perspective. You know the old saying, life is 10% circumstance and 90% perspective. Or, as Norman Vincent Peale used to say, what we find in life is what we choose to look for. So Isaiah said, can't you at least look at the total picture and see the good in addition to that which is not so good? You are trapped in a pit of your own making. And then he adds these words, hear you deaf, look you blind, and see the blessings of the Lord. Every community, I think, is beautiful during Advent. Christmas decorations go up, and whether it's a little country hamlet or a county seat town or a big city, it all has its own distinctive beauty. When for about 10 years we lived in New York City, it certainly has its own distinctive beauty. Our church was located on Fifth Avenue, and all up and down the avenue there were the stores, Bergdorf Goodman and Saks, and so many that just were extravagant in what they did with the windows. And only a couple blocks over, Bloomingdale's, who just about topped everybody. But I think my favorite was Lord & Taylor. It was on the corner of 39th and 5th. Our church was 29th and 5th, so I walked by Lord & Taylor literally every day. And they had a staff that spent the entire year designing the windows for the next Christmas season, which would go up in November. Oftentimes when I was walking home from work, it was about a 25-minute walk, I would stop in front of those windows and just look. One evening in December, and it was a cold, cold evening, I was walking home. I think it was about 6:30. The sun had set. It was nighttime in the city. As I passed Lord & Taylor, there was a fairly large crowd of tourists in front of the windows, and so I decided to stop and browse as well because they light up at night in a really special way. There in front of the first window, there was Christmas music going, a crowd of folks watching, people chatting with one another, though we didn't know one another. And I said to a guy beside me, this is really pretty, but wow, it's kind of cold, isn't it? I don't think I'm going to stand here too long. He said, yeah, there's a chill in the air. And a voice of a man right behind us said, well, it's kind of cool, but he said, the beauty of that window just warms you up, doesn't it? A minute later, we were still looking and chatting, and I said, as pretty as it is, it does occur to me that this is still commercialism. For all the beauty it's designed to get us inside the store to spend our money. This is an investment on their return. Pretty cynical thing to say. The guy beside me said, yeah, always trying to get our money. And the voice behind me said, oh, I don't think so. I don't think they're trying to get. I think these windows are their gift. These windows get us into the spirit of Christmas. So I decided I'll turn around to see who this person is, since apparently we're in a conversation. And I was the pastor of what was called America's Home of Positive Thinking. And here I was with all the negative expressions, and some stranger behind me was counterbalancing. So I turned around to see who he was. And there was this gentleman, probably about my age, African American. It was dark, it was nighttime, and he was wearing shades, and he had a cane with a white tip. I looked at him and I said, the windows are so beautiful. He said, they really are. It appeared to me that he was visually impaired to the point of being legally blind. So I said, if you don't mind, may I ask you a question? Sure, go ahead. I said, I don't want to be rude or intrusive, but how much of the window can you see? And he said, none, I'm totally blind. I said, but you said they're beautiful. And he said, I can hear the beauty. I answered, I don't understand that. I mean, if we were talking about a symphony, I'd get it, but this is a window. It's a visual design. How do you hear the beauty? He said, let me show you. Got a minute? Sure. Close your eyes. Okay. So what do you hear? I said, I hear a siren. So obviously it's a police car or a fire truck or an ambulance. Somebody's got a problem or a pain. And he said, okay, you're right. But somebody else is taking care of that. That's a distraction. I asked, what do you hear in the window? So I went again. I said, I hear music. I hear a Christmas carol. Good King Wenceslas. He said, good. You heard Christmas music. What else? I said, that's it. What else is there to hear? With my eyes closed, pay attention to the window. I said, that's it. He said, pay attention to the people and the window. It's all part of the same scenario. What are you hearing from the voices? So I listened. I said, I hear a mother and a child. What are they saying? Well, at that point, the little girl had said, Mommy, look at the pretty princess dancing in the snow that's falling in the window. And look, I bet that character there is a prince. And I bet he'll skate across there and they'll dance together. What do you think? And her mommy said, maybe, probably a prince. And she's a princess. Maybe they'll skate and dance together. And the little girl said, Mommy, can we stay and watch that? I want to see it happen. The mother said, well, of course, sweetheart, we'll stay and see if the princess and the prince dance. I said, I hear a mother and a child. What did you hear? I said, I heard that there's snow falling and a mechanical prince and princess. He said, no. What did you hear in the child? And I said, she explained the scene. He said, she expressed excitement. In the window, she found Christmas. She's listening to the carols. She's seeing the dancers. She's watching the snow. She found the excitement of Christmas. What did you hear in the mother? I said, kindness? Yeah, I suppose, he said, but I think you heard more than that. You heard patience. Okay, how? He said, it's cold. She probably would like to be in where it's warm. They may be here because she has last-minute shopping. She's got to get done and she needs to get on with it. There's probably a husband and dad at home wondering, where's my wife? Where's our daughter? She's probably in a hurry, but because her daughter wanted to stay and see if the prince and the princess danced and skated together, the mother had patience. So what else do you hear? I said, you tell me, you're better at this than I am. Love. You heard love. That mother's love for that child surpasses any need, any impatience, any sense of hurry. You heard love, and if that's not Christmas, I don't know what is. See what I mean? He said, I can hear the beauty. I said, I'm going to move on to the next window. Could you come with me and tell me what to listen for there? And he said, no. Didn't you hear the music change? I listened and said, oh yeah. It's changed to Oh Holy Night. He said, yeah, I'm going to stay and listen to that. It's my favorite hymn. Go on, he said. By now you've got the hang of it. See what you can hear. I think back on that now and realize that there I was, as I said, the pastor of a place called America's Church of Positive Thinking. And what did I hear? What did I see? I said, it's really cold. The windows are commercialism. I hear pains and problems and a siren. But there was a man who couldn't see at all physically, but who spiritually saw Christmas in a way that I had not. He was aware of the beauties and blessings that surrounded him. I can hear the beauty. He could see the Spirit. Hear, you deaf, look, you blind, and see the blessings of the Lord. It was a lesson I try not to forget. So, in Advent, let's be silent and still enough and cast aside cynicism and skepticism enough to see and hear the beauty